Hey everybody, Jeff aka GCurse here. How are you all doing today? I hope you are all having a great start to your Sunday morning. It is actually very warm here in the city of Kelso, Washington. We're in the middle of a heat wave right now. So it is already nearing, I think it's 75 or something like that right now. So it's going to be warm. They're actually predicting you should hit possible triple digits today. So I have everything off in the apartment with the exception of the essentials. So I don't have a fan. I had the fans on, but because of my mic, I had to turn off the fans. I don't have any lights on. I do not have any lights on to prevent heat buildup in this apartment, because this apartment where I live, it's actually pretty nice during the winter. It keeps the heat locked in, but the problem is it also does the same thing during the summer. So when after the day is done, it's really hot in here, and then it doesn't really have time to air out to cool down, and then you just have another hot day rolling in, and it just gets hotter and hotter and hotter. So I figured I would do what I can to try to prevent as much heat output as possible. So I don't have any lights on. So that's why I'm a little bit darker possibly. So the only real light you're going to be seeing is from the monitor and all the three monitors I have. That's only really going to be my only light, because I just don't want this apartment to be that hot during the rest of the day, But anyway. How are you all doing today? We have the start of episode 6 of season 1. This is actually going to be a pretty interesting episode. I think this episode has 4 to 5 cases. I can't recall exactly how many. But we're starting off with one of the more popular cases in the lore, the history of Unsolved Mysteries. That's right. We have the case of the Son of Sam. Was the Son of Sam a lone person? Was there others? That's for you to make the decision. Me, I think he was actually part of a group of people, but that's just me. But we're going to get to this case right after these commercials from the 1990s.
Come on, mates. I've got a surprise for you.
What's the surprise?
I'll show you.
Look, Bernard. It's us.
Just for the holidays at McDonald's, you can get Bernard or Miss Bianca, the famous heroes from Walt Disney Pictures' new animated feature, The Rescuers Down Under, now in theaters everywhere. One ornament's free when you buy a $5 book of McDonald's gift certificates or $1.49 with any food purchase.
Very handsome, but I prefer the real one.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great start to your day. We are now at the portion of the show where we go and do a case viewing on the Unsolved Mysteries wiki. Basically, what I do is I have my faithful secretary. Her name is Jasmine. She will read to us the case, and I will give you my thoughts about it. So let's get on to that, shall we? A little known fact, this is actually the second attempt to record this. I forgot to actually unmute the computer, so basically I was halfway through this case when I looked over at my recording software and I noticed that the computer was mute, and I'm like, oh god. Okay, so it's a lesson. Sometimes the content creators, it's a mistake that we sometimes make. I don't want to say lesson. It's a mistake that we sometimes make. We're not perfect. We're not infallible. But let's get to it, shall we? So I'll start off by reading the stats, or whatever you want to call it, the information. Basically, real names. We had David Berkowitz, and then there were others that were unknown. The case is serial killings. Location is New York, and the date was 1976 to 1977. Okay, so let's start this all over again. There we go. And Jasmine will start to read this. Hopefully. Please.
Details.
Thank you.
At 1:10 a.m. on July 29th, 1976, 2 young women were shot in an area of the Bronx known as Pelham Bay by an assailant using .44 caliber bullets. One of them, Donna Loria, was killed instantly. A composite of the gunman was created based on eyewitness accounts. On October 23, 1976, another shooting occurred in Queens. Both victims survived and were shot by .44 caliber bullets. On November 27, 1976, two young women were also shot in Queens. Both survived, but one would become paralyzed for life. Eyewitnesses helped to create another composite of the gunman. On January 30th, 1977, Christine Freund and her fiancé were shot in their car. She was killed. On March 8, 1977, Columbia University student Virginia Voskerikian was shot and killed while walking home from school at around 7:30 p.m. Eyewitnesses created two more composites of the killer. These seemed different from the earlier ones.
And this is why I kind of believe that there was multiple people. I do not think that Berkowitz was a lone killer or lone gunman. Just at the fact that if you look at these pictures here, hold on, there it goes. If you look at these pictures, they really don't have anything in common besides the fact that they're all white, possibly, you know. But they all look significantly different. The eyes, the noses, the mouths, the hair, they're all different. So I feel we are dealing with a group of at least 4 people. In the comment section, what do you think? Do you think that Berkowitz was a lone gunman, or do you think that he was actually part of a group of people doing the killings? Okay.
On April 17, 1977, Alexander Esau and Valentina Suriani were shot and killed in their car in Pelham Bay. This time, a handwritten letter was left at the scene. The killer identified himself as the son of Sam. On Memorial Day 1977, the killer sent another letter to newspaper columnist Jimmy Breslin. It contained taunts and references to Satanism. It also mentioned the 22 disciples of hell, Wicked King Wicker, and John Wheaties, the rapist and suffocator of young girls. It was also signed the Son of Sam and had a satanic symbol at the bottom. Finally, on July 31st, 1977, the assailant struck for the last time, killing a young woman named Stacy Moskowitz. Her boyfriend, Robert Violante, was injured. 19-year-old mechanic Tommy Zano was a witness to the shooting. Tommy gave a description of the shooter, which was much different than the other composite drawings.
Okay, so I'm not sure exactly when the term, or when satanic panic really started to grip the United States. I always figured that it was like towards the late 70s and throughout the early to mid 80s. But regarding this whole Satanist thing that was mentioned by Breslin, it could be possible that it could have just been somebody who sent a letter to mess with people. It's been known before, especially in other Unsolved Mysteries cases, where somebody dies or there's a killer running wild, and somebody will send a letter just to try to make the situation worse, basically. So I'm wondering if that could have been it.
Authorities learned that a parking ticket had been issued near the scene. It was issued to a Ford Galaxy belonging to postal employee David Berkowitz. When authorities went to his residence, they noticed his car parked out front. Inside, they saw a duffel bag with a rifle in it. They searched the car and found another letter written by the son of Sam, which threatened more attacks. At 10 p.m., Berkowitz returned to his car, carrying a .44 caliber revolver in a paper bag. He was arrested and confessed to all of the shootings. He told police that he had received his orders to kill from the barking dog of a neighbor, Sam Carr. Berkowitz pleaded guilty to all of the murders and was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison.
Okay, so, hold on. Okay. Now, when it comes to... Hold on, let me just mark this. There you go. Now, the reason, now, you're probably wondering, like, one of the arguments is, well, if it was, like, why, if there was a group of people, why was it only just, like, one person that was seen? I think possibly that even though that there were, they only saw one person, I think that these people each would take, like, a specific day. So let's say Berkowitz took, say, Monday or whatever. And then another guy would take Tuesday, another guy would take Wednesday, another guy would take Thursday and Friday, and so forth. And then they would just basically kind of hand the weapon over to each other. That's what I think. And that would explain why it was just like only a 44 caliber pistol, and that was why that they only would see like one person doing the shooting. I think that there was a group of them, but when they would go to do their killings, that only one person would go out at night. That way, that person would not or the group would not risk getting all caught at once. And if somebody was apprehended, they would fall back to an excuse, like, say, the dog, for example. I think that, I don't think it was satanic, and I don't think he was a lone gunman. I think that it was multiple people that was doing this, throughout the week. That would just be like one person per day, though. Okay, let's continue on. Oh, by the way, this is about the point when I realized that the computer was muted before, so let's continue on.
Author Maury Terry, however, felt that there was more to the story. He believed that Berkowitz did not act alone. He believes that Berkowitz was part of a gang of killings. He first became suspicious when he read the reports about the last shooting on July 31st, 1977. He talked to eyewitness Tommy Zano. Tommy said that he had seen a slim man with medium-length hair shoot Stacy and Robert. When he saw Berkowitz a few days later, he was certain that he had seen a different man at the scene. He believed this because Berkowitz was much stockier than the shooter that he had seen.
That he had seen. The program didn't finish it. Okay, so let's go down here. Let's just go all the way down there. Come on.
Maury also learned about a yellow Volkswagen which was parked in front of a park next to where Stacy and Robert were shot. It was left there at around 1 a.m. on the night of the shooting. 3 men emerged from it. 30 minutes later, Tommy noticed it pass by him twice. At 2:05 a.m., a policeman issued the parking ticket to Berkowitz's car. At the same time, a neighborhood resident named Cecilia Davis was dropped off by a friend next to it. They were blocking the street, so Berkowitz began honking at them as he tried to drive down the street. Cecilia got out of her friend's car and got a good look at him. She saw him driving away from the area, following the police car. 15 minutes later, Stacy and Robert went on a walk around the park. They noticed a man standing next to the park restroom, which was 2 blocks from Cecilia's apartment. At 2:33 a.m., she returned to it after walking her dog. She once again saw Berkowitz as he walked right past her on the sidewalk.
Come on.
Just 1 minute later, she entered her apartment and heard the shooting.
Wow.
It's alleged that
No, we're going back up here.
Seems unlikely that Berkowitz would be able to walk 2 blocks to the scene of the shooting in less than a minute. It would normally take someone 2 minutes to briskly walk that distance. Just 15 seconds after the shooting, witnesses saw a man wearing a cheap wig run away from the scene of the shooting, get into a yellow Volkswagen, and drive away. Maury believes that there were at least 3 people involved in the shooting, including Berkowitz. He believes that they are part of an organized conspiracy that was responsible for all of the Son of Sam shootings. He believes that although Berkowitz was involved in several shootings, he also became the fall guy in the case.
I wouldn't say that he became a fall guy. Like I said, I think it was just planned that if one of them was apprehended, that they would basically, formulate this excuse. And regarding the cheap wig, if it's dark, how do you know a person's actually wearing a wig unless they literally took off the wig, but it doesn't mention that? Okay. Come on.
It's alleged that the cult was active and recruiting new members as late as 10 years after his arrest. Maury believes that this cult sent the letter to Jimmy. In the letter, a king wicker is mentioned. Interestingly, Berkowitz lived in an apartment next to Wicker Street. A man named John Carr lived close to him. Maury learned that his nickname was John Wheaties, which was also mentioned in the Jimmy letter. He happened to be the son of Sam Carr. Sam's dog is the one that Berkowitz claimed had told him to commit the killings. Maury believed that John resembles two of the composites of the killer. Maury tracked him to Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota. Maury learned that while he worked in North Dakota, he frequently traveled to New York around the time of the murders. Authorities confirmed that he was a close friend and confidant of Berkowitz.
Okay, so basically they're claiming that apparently Berkowitz could have been a couple of the drawings. It could be, but I'm sorry, call me hard-headed. I think that it was just a group of 4 to 5 people, not even a cult. I don't even think there was satanic overtones at all. I think it was just 4 to 5 people who were just pieces of shit that like to kill people, basically. Basically, what I can imagine it being was Berkowitz and the rest of his friends. They were possibly playing like a board game, and basically, somehow the they were playing, it was all fine, fine and dandy, and then it just started off with one person, and that person could be like, I just hate the way that fucking people act around me. And then it got picked up from there. It's like, yeah, I hate it when people look at me weird too. I wish, if it wasn't against law, I'd shoot them. And then it just kind of spun off of that. I think that's how it actually started, Like, it was just being talked about a little until it finally grew to the point they're like, do you want to do it? And then they started with the killings and everything. But I don't think that had anything to do with Satanists. You got to remember, this was during Satanic Panic, so everything had to have been Satanist. And I'm sorry, I don't buy that at all.
Michael Carr.
No, wait, hold on. Nope, we're not doing this. Okay, now where the fuck was I? Okay, so hold on. Okay, I think we were here, so let's just go back here and we'll do it again.
On February 17th, 1978, 6 months after Berkowitz's arrest, John was found dead in his girlfriend's apartment in Minot, North Dakota. It was believed, at first, that he had sat at the edge of his bed and shot himself with a gun that was found next to him. His girlfriend believed this. The next day, however, she changed her story and said that she believed that he had been murdered. She said that he was wanted for the son of Sam murders in New York and that he was afraid for his life. One of the North Dakota investigators is convinced that he was murdered. However, his death remains a mystery. Maury believes that John had satanic cult ties to both New York and North Dakota. The cult allegedly practiced in blood drinking, urine drinking, and even animal sacrifices. Their choice of animal was allegedly the German Shepherd. Maury discovered that the satanic symbol at the end of the Jimmy letter was also found in John's phone book.
I think that could be hearsay, basically. Like and I know that's not a good defense. It's just what I feel, and like I always say, this video that you're watching, this is not like to be taken as granted. This is just my theory, and like I said, it's easy to just point your finger and blame something instead of actually doing research and have to actually admit that it was, it wasn't as something as extravagant as Satanists. It wasn't some grand conspiracy. It was literally just 4 or 5 pieces of shit that lacked a moral compass and decided to start shooting up the town. That sometimes the most lackluster answer is the answer. Okay.
Phil Falcon was an acquaintance of John's in Minot. He told Maury that he had accidentally walked in on John and another man during a satanic ritual. They were apparently sacrificing an animal in the middle of Phil's own house.
Okay, I'm going to go outright and say that this is just hearsay. This is what somebody said. Hey guys, I'm a millionaire. Just because I say something doesn't always mean that it's true. So when, regarding this whole, I saw them doing it. You got to take that with a grain of salt. Okay, let's hope that it works.
House.
Okay.
He told Maury that John belonged to a violent satanic cult. Prison sources who knew Berkowitz claimed that he had been introduced to this cult by John's brother, Michael, in 1975. They allegedly attended a floating covenant party wherein he became involved in the cult. At 4 a.m. on October 4th, 1979, Michael was killed after he crashed into a light post on New York's West Side Highway. He died just 18 months after his brother.
Brother? Wow, I never heard the computer refer to brother as brother. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think it could have been a satanic cult, or do you think it was just do you think that it was just 4 or 5 friends who lacked any sort of right and wrong? Come on.
Authorities also received information that groups of people...
Back here.
Conclusive proof that Berkowitz knew John and Michael both came during one of his depositions. On October 25th, 1978, he said that he did know John. In 1983, during another deposition, Berkowitz confirmed that they were involved in a satanic cult and that they were murdered to ensure their silence. Maury believes that their deaths were engineered by the 22 Disciples of Hell. He also believes that the group held their rituals in Untermeyer Park, located just 1 mile from Berkowitz's apartment. On August 11th, 1977, the day after Berkowitz's arrest, 2 young boys led police to a shallow grave where the bodies of 3 German shepherds were found. 2 had been strangled with chains, and another was shot in the head. At least 10 other dogs were later found dead in the park. Authorities also received information that groups of people in black robes with hoods were.
Hold on. There, let's go back down here. They were chanting. Come on. Come on.
Chanting and carrying on rituals in the rear of Untermeyer Park. More remains of dogs were found in that area. It was believed that they were sacrificed in a ritual. Maury received a call from a teenager in Yonkers who claimed that he had seen a satanic cult meeting in Untermeyer Park. He took Maury to the park and showed him where the cult was apparently meeting. Satanic graffiti was found. He also showed him the remains of several dogs. Finally, he took him along the aqueduct where a satanic altar was set up.
Okay, so do I believe that cults do not exist. No, I know that they exist. But for this case itself, I do not think that this was cult related. I think that it was 4 to 5 shitty people that were operating in a town, and there just happened to have been a cult. They may have come across cult activities, but I do not think that this cult had anything to do with the Son of Sam killings. And I know that people may not like that, but that's just what I think. Yeah.
Cult activity has continued around Untermeyer Park since the Son of Sam killings. While Unsolved Mysteries was filming the story, 2 residents came forward to say that they had witnessed a satanic cult meeting in the park in 1987. They stated that they had gone outside after seeing car headlights and went to an area near the aqueduct in the park. They saw at least 15 people standing in the area, chanting and holding candles. Out of fear, they fled the area.
They fled the area. And like I said, if this cult was responsible for doing the killings, why would they have stopped just because Berkowitz was apprehended? If they were literally sending out one person every day, like I think, and it was a cult, it would take forever to weed out this cult. No, like I said, sometimes the most simple answer is the answer. 4 to 5 shitty people. Boom, you have your answer. Sometimes it's not the most complicated. It isn't the most extravagant. It isn't the most headline worthy, but it's sometimes the correct answer. But people want to try to make it sound like something that they want to make it sound like something that is not, simply to add gravitas to it. And if, like Berkowitz and all these other people, if they did claim that it was a cult, they could possibly try to use that to get a plea bargain. Well, they were under the effects of a cult. We could give them a plea deal and get them help. And by doing that, they could avoid possibly like a death sentence or life or something. Just by simply saying, hey, we're in a cult. We didn't know what we were doing. Oh, okay, let's give them a plea deal. Yeah.
Authorities continue to investigate this case and do not consider it closed. They would like to question any individuals that match the composite sketches in it. They would also like to locate the yellow 1971 Volkswagen seen near the scene of the last shooting. Its license plate ends with the letters GU.
Ends with the letters GUR or GUR. Okay, so I'll take over here. Extra notes. This case first aired on the November 2nd, 1988 episode. Wow. I was just about to turn 7, if I remember correctly. Wow. Can't believe I was still in my single digits when this came out. Episode and part 2 first aired a week later on November 9th, 1988 episode. It was also mentioned in connecting to the research of Carolyn Reynolds. Now, going back to I can't recall if I mentioned it in this one or in the previous attempt to record this, but this was I think this is one of the only few cases that they did on Unsolved Mysteries that was broken into two parts because the video itself was fucking long. We only got kind of like a compressed version of that on the Wikipedia, I'm pretty sure, but the video itself was actually pretty damn long. It was also briefly mentioned in the Stockton arsonist segment. The case was documented on Very Scary People. Results: unsolved or unresolved. Sorry. Sadly, Murray has since passed away. Authorities still consider this case open but inactive. Berkowitz has refused to speak about the cult or anyone else who may have been involved in it. He has been eligible for parole several times since 2002. However, each time has been denied. Okay, and that is about it. There is a lot of stuff here. We got Son of Sam victims. Let's check that out. Okay, and I do want to say thank you to Jasmine for joining us. We will see her for the next episode, so take it easy, Jasmine. There we go. Okay, I'm just gonna do a quick look through here because we got so many links. I'm just gonna read this information here, But anyway, so we got Alexander Esau. Let's see here. He was buried at Section Oak. See here. Fairview Memorial Park Mausoleum in Fairview, Bergen County, USA. Plot info was Section Oak, Block 3, Plot 4, Grave 2. Christy Freund. See here. Linden Hill United Methodist Cemetery. Section 1DA, Row 10, Grave 30. Donna and Loria, Calvary Cemetery. Plot was 3rd Calvary, Section 25, Range 4. Plot 8, Grave 5 and 6. Wow, some of these cemeteries have like long designations. Wow. Stacy Robin Maskowitz, King Solomon Memorial Park, Section Israel, Block 5, Plot 37, Grave 3. Valentina Francesca Surani, Old St. Raymond Cemetery, Section 16, Range 25, Plot 26, Grave 1. And then we got Virginia G. Voskerichian. I mutilated her name. I apologize for that. Maple Grove Cemetery, Section H, Lot 73, Unit D, Grave 3. And I could always come back later and do like a follow-up and do a more thorough video regarding the find a grave of these victims. But for the video itself, I'm already nearing 30 minutes, so yeah. You can always find this page. I will link this page here in the description so you guys can come here and take a look if you want. But yeah, so that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the case of the Son of Sam. Stay tuned, and I will be right back with my final thoughts.
For those who'd rather be driving.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Okay, everybody, I am so sorry about that. I thought I had my microphone activated on the recording software, and I did not. So, first few seconds, I apologize about that. But I just want to say welcome back to the show. We are now at the portion where basically I'm giving you my final thoughts. And if you already watched the majority of this video, you'll know where I stand on this. I stand with the idea that this, or the opinion, I guess you could say, that this is not a group of Satanists. It's not a group of people who were that were brainwashed to kill anybody. No, what this was a group of people, like 4 to 5 people, that were just shitty human beings. And sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes the most simple answer is the correct answer. Society has become an organization. I'm not sure what the correct word is. Society has basically become an idea, or uses the idea that basically we have to make something so grandiose to give it reason, and sometimes that's just not it. Sometimes it could just literally be a group of friends handing over a 44 every day, and they go out and kill people. There is just that's all it could be sometimes, Am I saying that cults do not exist? No, I acknowledge that they do exist. However, in this case, I feel that it is just a bunch of shitty people doing these crimes. Regarding all these other things, it's hearsay, honestly, in my opinion. Now, it's been a while since I actually saw the video itself, and I can't remember each and every little detail, but a lot of this stuff was also third-hand information, or second-hand information, I guess you could say. And because of that, you got to remember, it's hearsay. Stuff like, he said this, she said that, it would not hold up in court. That's why it's called hearsay. You need actual evidence. And I'm sorry, finding dead dogs, as sad as it is, in a park cannot just be completely linked to that group. But yeah, so that's basically it. Like I said, sometimes the straight line is actually the answer, basically. But that is it for this case, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned, because next episode, let's see here. Next episode, what will it be? So season 1, we are in the beginning. We are starting, well, we already started episode 6. So we will be doing the case of Walter Green. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get the information about that. Okay. Walter Green. Ooh, Curly. Okay. Basically, we have a guy who was a recluse, and basically he ended up getting a lot of money, saving up a lot of money. He sadly passed away, and now they're trying to find his heirs. So the next episode is actually going to be another one of those episodes. I like the kind of cases where you have somebody who is a recluse, like myself, and they pass away, and they have like a little bit of a fortune. And now they're trying to find the people to claim it. So I kind of like those cases. But I cannot wait to go over that case with you next time. But that's about it. If you liked what you watched, which I hope you did, you know what to do. Click that subscribe button, click the like and the bell, and you'll be alerted when I release new content. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. GCurse. Wishing you all a great day. Stay safe, everybody. Peace out.